The first impression that comes to our mind about any college: tall buildings, big classrooms, large lobby areas, thick books, IT labs, assignments, class tests, and projects. Nothing besides that. Every hour, minute, second spent here help us carving and shaping our persona, cultivating innovative mindsets for the challenging world. Learning is a lifelong process. Sharing knowledge, inculcating values of life, spark the innovative horizons of mind. Fun and frolic is the nature of every nook and corner here. A daily dose of thrill we are sure to get here.
Good evening, everyone. I am S. Divishri, student of BAJMC first year. Welcome you all to the BJ Verghese lecture series organized by DME Media School. BJ Verghese lecture series is organized in the memory of Mr. Boobly George Verghese, a senior journalist and a winner of prestigious Ramon Magsaysay Award for outstanding contribution to journalism, create much needed industry academia interface, and provide students with the opportunities to interact with the who's who of media. DME, a premier educational institute affiliated to Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University and approved by the Bar Council of India, offers courses in law, management, and journalism. DME Media School focuses on the growth of the faculty and the students through academic and co-curricular activities. The department has successfully organized various flagship events like International Conference ICANN, organized 3 editions of Cineast Sufi International Film Festival, and also the Students' Media Convention, Vritika, and to name a few. It believes in imparting world-class education to its students while training them to develop and enhance their skills. This education and training enable them in taking up challenges of the industry and creating a space for themselves with their competence and vigor. We are successful in adopting the various innovative academic exercises like Vibrant India Series VIS, face-to-face session, induction program, session orientation program, interactive alumni sessions, peer-to-peer FTP, and so on. Today we have with us Ms. Yili Fan, theater and film director, South Carolina, US. Before I call the guest, I request Professor Dr. Amrish Saxena to share his welcome address.
Thank you, Devashri. So it's indeed a matter of pride and privilege that today we are having Yili Fan in this session of BG Verghese lecture series. BG Verghese lecture series has already been told to you. It has been instituted in the name of the most renowned journalist of India, BG Verghese, who contributed immensely not only as a journalist but otherwise also in the policy formulation in the media sector. He has a big contribution. And till the time this COVID-19 had struck, we were in a mode of inviting distinguished people to come to the campus of Delhi Metropolitan Education and talking to students. But during this COVID-19, this provided us an opportunity to even reach out some distinguished people from different parts of the world to come to us and talk to our students and deliver a lecture as part of this BG Verghese lecture series. And in this process only that I approached Yili Fan to be with us on some day, and despite all her busy schedule for the last so many months, finally she could manage to spare time for us. And the whole topic which is there in today's lecture is very unique because if you look into the profile of Yili, she has been into film, she has been into theater, and I've seen a lot of her workshops, the visuals and small videos of the workshop wherein she imparts training in completely an unconventional way. And the film that she has already provided to us, and which I believe most of the students would have watched, will give you a complete idea that what exactly she has been doing with the students as part of her endeavor. So I believe that this today's session will add some new knowledge, like how to fill up the space, as the topic of today's discussion is fill the space, a creative model for film directing and screenwriting. And all of us, I mean, particularly those the teachers and the students who do theater or who are involved in some way into filmmaking. So how to make the optimum use and the clever use of the space which is available is always a challenge. And I'm eager to learn, eager to know what new tricks, what the new creative styles Yili is going to tell us in today's session. So without further delaying the session, I would definitely like to listen to Yili. And before that, I hand it over to Devish.
Thank you, sir. Now I'd like to introduce our guest for today. Miss Yili Fan is an award-winning scriptwriter and director of the International Theatre and Film Festivals, as well as a theatre and film educator. She was also an acting coach of movies and instructor in the film department of the Central Academy of Fine Arts in China. Ms. Fan won the Best New Director Award of the Beijing International Youth Theatre Festival 2011. Her theatre works were invited to international theatre festivals, including Festival des Avignon 2012 in France, Tokyo Tiny Alice Theatre Festival 2012 in Japan. Ms. Fan's debut educational documentary, The Little Prince with a Mask, has been selected by 12 international film festivals and has won the Best Short Documentary at the Lacan International Film Festival 2021 in Paris, France, the Jury Award at the Children's Short Film Festival in the UK, and the Jury Award at Samskarna International Festival in India. Ms. Fan is now teaching drama at East Point Academy, a Chinese immersion public K-8 school in United States. She used her educational model, Fill the Space, to teach her students in the 2nd to 8th grade to make videos also, which is what she is going to talk about today. Fill the Space, a creative model for film direction and screenwriting. The session will be followed by question and answers, which will be moderated by Dr. Manmeet Kaur, Associate Professor, DME Media School. And I also request the audience to post their questions in the chat box. And now hand it over the session to Ms. Fan to begin the session. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Miss Fan. I'm come from China, Guangzhou, and now I'm a drama teacher working in the East Point Academy at the United States. Today, I'm going to share with you the educational model, Fill the Space, which I have been refined for 10 years. But before that, I would love to share my passion and my love to the most famous Indian story, the Mahabharata story. I still remember how fascinated when I first come across to the scene that Arjuna and Duryodhana seeking help from Krishna. Yeah, when they asked for the help from Krishna, Arjuna asked for Krishna himself, and the other one asked for the army. So that's a very critical decision making about what you want to choose for your life and what help and what support you really need for your career and your passion and your mission. So I'm so inspired by the rich Indian history and culture. Thank you so much for that inspiration. That's the scene that inspired me all the time to make right decision and always right decision for myself, for my student, and for the future. So now I'm going to, since 2012, I have been refining the Fill the Space educational model. It's a very simple, playful, adaptable model. It's unusual because it allows for the acquisition, allow for the knowledge and the skill, beginning with the most basic of human bodily behavior. It engaged the mind in intellectual training while the body remained physically active, ensuring that information is connected to action from the very first instant of learning. Depending on the training goal, field space can serve as the practical training goal. It can be a mathematic algorithm that can be iterated into very complex structure until the training goal is complete. Field space can serve as a practical method for teaching complexity, uncertainty, diversity, creativity, individual and society awareness, democracy, conflict transformation, planetary understanding, and humanity in the hyper-technological and hyper-connected artificial intelligence era that Earth citizens of all age, from young to old, can use to learn. And here I'm sharing with you, I'm sharing with you the five components. Can you see? The five components of this educational model. Okay. Yeah, the first component is the meta model of field space. And then the second part is the first integration of goal, design, skill, and text. The third integration is here the video making skill. The fourth is the combination film the goal. And then the fifth is share the value. I know that the picture is very small, but I want to share with you these items. Okay. So this model, as you can see, at the first part is field space. And the first part is the field space. So in that way, it's the physical training to get every participant to get ready to connect information and their physical movements. And then the second part is when everyone is ready for their body and know the rules, and they are going to, you can integrate into the skill and the text. When everything is ready, then we integrate the video making skill in the process. The fourth part is the filmmaking goal. And then the final part is to share. For example, this model can be served as, if you're an English teacher, you can do the field space movements, and then you can when the student is ready, you can integrate Shakespeare text and the acting skill into it. So in that way, you can combine the text and the skill and field space movement together. And then when everyone is ready, you can ask the student to do the filmmaking. And then when you film the goal, for example, I'm teaching Shakespeare. So in that way, you can make a film about Shakespeare, and then we share the video. Now, as you are all students of media and filmmaking, so this way, you can use the model for film directing and film screenwriting. And now I'm going to show you this field space movement. It starts with the three basic comments. First is field space. It includes three conditions. Second is freeze. Third is melt. Now I'm going to show you these three basic comments. Please, if you have an interest to try it out, you can stand up in front of your camera and try out. Okay, when I say field space, everyone now start to walk. Field space, and then second comment, freeze. And then field space, freeze, second comment. Field space, first basic comment, freeze. So the first comment is field space. That means you can walk in the space. The second comment, freeze, you freeze and you pose. And then the third comment is melt. You imagine you're ice cream under the sun. So in that way, field space, freeze, and melt. Field space, freeze, melt. Okay, this is very simple, right? Very simple. It's the 3 basic commands. Fill the space means you walk. Second, freeze, and then melt. But the first command had 3 conditions. Fill the space. The first command had 3 conditions. First, do not follow. Second, keep the space balanced. Third, keep moving. So I'm going to talk about why I'm doing these 3 commands. When you fill the space, it's a collective activity. It's a collective activity. People are usually walk together. So in that way, they will walk in a circle, walk in the same direction. So they're very easy to follow. But the first comment is do not follow. So in that way, everyone, you're walking at your own direction. You're not following. So when you say do not follow, they start to move around and then freeze, and melt. So the second one is keep the space balanced. So when people walk, they usually don't pay attention to the space. Sometimes it's too crowded and somewhere it's totally empty. So when you say keep the space balanced, that means everyone have the same share amount of the space. So in that way, never too crowded and never too empty. So how to help people to keep the space empty, keep the space balanced? For example, when you say, let me show you. When we say fill the space, freeze, now you can say check the space. So everyone spread the arm and find a circle around you. If you can't do that, you should move to an empty space. So usually people will have the physical awareness about a circle around them. And then they will, if they can't do that, they will move to an empty space. So in that way, you're helping the people to spread in the scene or in the space. In that way, keep the space balance. And also the third one is keep moving. Because when people find a balanced spot, they usually just stay there. But it's everyone's responsibility to keep moving, keep adjusting, keep checking the space to keep everything balanced. This seems to be a collective game, but it's very, very useful. Well, for example, when you're a filmmaker, you make a street scene, it's all the actors who are acting, they're walking on the street. If they don't have the spatial awareness, they'll be too crowded, somewhere is too empty. But if you train the actors to fill the space, they will be really naturally spread in the area. So you get a very natural street scene when you're working with non-professional actors. Okay, and how can this fill the space help to solve the problems? See, here is the problem that I see, the future, the present, and the world. We have the problem that we are hyper-connected in technology, but disconnected in person. Second, we are hyper-connected to the known uncertainty. Oops, is it right? Okay, and we are disconnected in the unknown and uncertainty. Third, we are hyper-improving individuals, and we are slowly improving the collective. So as a filmmaker, it's a collective activity. You can always improve yourself by reading, checking information on the internet, but still you are improving your individual skill. But when you make a film, it's a collective activity. The production crew together, they're meeting in person. So about the COVID-19, people are brought to work from home. So there are much fewer chance for people to connect in person. And also the technology, we have phone, we have devices, we can check internet, we can learn a lot from the internet. But still, we are missing the time to really talk to people in person and really working people in person. As you're a director, you're going to work in the production crew in person and also work with the actor in person. So filter space is not only a personal skill, but also will help you in the production crew activity, collective activity when everyone is on spot and is in person. Model, I can see filter space can serve 7 problem-solving perspectives. First, creativity in connection building. Second, leadership in complex systems. Third, awareness in action. Fourth, unity in growth. Fifth, diversity in the process. Sixth, democracy in collaboration. 7, human as non-label force. This is the 7 problem-solving perspective filter space can serve. So I'm going to, from the perspective of film directing and screenwriting, I'm going to explain step by step how can this model help you in this 7 problem-solving perspective. As we're talking about filmmaking today, film directing and film screenwriting. So what's in your mind? What gender, what kind of film we're talking about? I'm going to talk about 3 kinds of films, which is 3 films: the film of your life, the film of your profession, the film of your planet. First, we will talk about the film of your life, you as a living individual. So before you work as a professional in the film industry, for all the time before you become a professional actor or director or screenwriter, you're all the time as a human being. You have your life in the past, your life at the present, and your life in the future. So in my perspective, everyone is the writer, director, actor, and viewer of the film of yourself's life. So can we consider our life? Can we do the decision-making of our life as a writer, as a director, as an actor, and as a viewer? So in that way, you're observing yourself as a professional filmmaker, but still it's a film of your own life. So please all the time think about how you are going to write a script of your own life. How are you going to direct the film of your own life? And as an actor, what character you want to act in your life film? And also as an audience, all the time be aware of what you are doing in your life. So please keep this perspective in mind. The second film I'm going to talk about is the film of your profession, you as a professional. Now you're a student in the media world, so you're learning how to make movie, how to write script, how to be a director. This is the film about your profession, you working in the film industry. So it's always now information is very accessible through the internet. You can learn how to direct, how to act, how to write script. There are a lot of resources can help you to develop your individual ability. However, when I'm talking filter space, it's not only about your individual improvement. It's the individual improvement, it's the improvement of collective, which means your crew, your team, your collaborators. So filter space can help you to deal with the relationship with how you work with the people in the industry. And when you have your team, how to train your team and how to work smoothly. So it's not only about you, but it's about we, you together, they together. And also the third film is about the film of our planet. So the film of our planet, because we are the planetary citizen on this world, we are not only thinking about our life, we are not only thinking about the industry and the society, but also we need to think about globally. What if there is a film about the future of our planet? What would that film be? Who can be that film's director, writer, actor, and viewer? So your effort is not only helping yourself individually life, not only helping your production team, your professional life, but also you should think about helping our planet to be a better place for all human beings. Now, I'm going to talk about the first problem solving, how filter space can help you to be creative in connect building. I'm going to tell you a story about what do you think about when you see through this window. Education about creativity is not new nowadays, because we all know creativity is very important. But however, when we teach creativity, mainly we are thinking about the individual ability, how to be a creative person and how to increase my creativity and how can my creative ability to help the world. However, creative person together is not necessarily form a creative collective. When you are in a filmmaking crew or any community, all the creative person together is not necessarily empower the whole community, because creative people may fight each other, may have different opinions. So how to keep people together to form a collective that is full of creativity? So my opinion is about creative in connection building. So we are not only focused on the creativity about our own ability, we should think about the creativity to how to build the connection. So the story I'm going to tell you about is my acting professor who once asked me when I was trying to go to the Central Academy of Drama to learn the stage performance. So I asked her, how can I prepare to pass the exam? When we were in the cafe, she asked me, what do you see? What do you think about when you see through the window? At that time, I already graduated from the film directing and scriptwriting department. So I think, well, I'm thinking about the scene, which camera angle, and the story about different story gender. It can be a crime movie, it can be a comedy, and the actor is going to, the blocking is like this. So I'm thinking about that. And my professor said, well, that's a typical director mindset, but not an actor's mindset. Then I asked, what should be an actor's mindset? My professor told me, an actor's mindset is about, it's warm today, and the breeze is very comfortable, and the smell of the street, and people pass by and remind me, one day I was with my friend, and I still remember the way he talked, the way, the dress, and the shirt he wears. So I was so shocked about that. I think how different the director and the writer's mindset to the actor's mindset. And this helped me to build a connection about how the connection between being a director, a writer, and being an actor. So all the time, we need to connection building. So in Filter Space, once I was giving a workshop in the Breckloff School of English, when I was having a program there. So I gave workshop to educators who are K-12 nationwide in United States and also international. In Filter Space, people are able to connect to each other and brainstorm with each other. For example, when everyone is Filter Space, freeze, and melt. This is an individual activity, but when you do the connection, you have a partner. So you're going to eye contact with your partner. And then in that way, you walk, you feel the space, and the partner feel the space with you too. And then you freeze, but keep eye contact, and then melt together. And then feel the space. You and your partner, eye contact partner, feel the space together. And freeze, and melt. So when everyone is ready to get familiar with these movements, you are able to integrate the text and the skill. For example, fill the space, freeze, and melt. And now when you freeze, the director or the organizer can say, let's talk about the script. And then they melt and talk the script together. Okay, and fill the space, you can train your partner, and freeze, you can talk about the script with the new partner. Talk about what your opinion about the film we are going to make. So in that way, you're communicating. When you have a team, when you have a crew, so in that way, you can build a connection with collaborators. In that way, you are sharing the information about opinions about how to make the film. You build a connection. It's a community building. In that way, we share and inspire with each other. So we are not only to work alone on our profession to make our script better, to develop our directing skill, but also we can use this model to get inspiration for all the collaborators. In that way, we are building a very creative community. And I want you to see about this. This is the opening scene of my film. Can you guess what is in the scene? What is it there? And here the same footage become.
I think so. I asked him.
And this is the ending scene. Can you see the bubble there? Yes, they are pollen. I filmed it when I was making The Little Prince. It was in spring and a very heavy rain. So the pollen fall on the ground. I'm fascinated by that. And I see the bubble is the bubble is emerging, keep emerging. So I feel there is a connection of poetry in that scene. So I film it with my phone and then I make it the opening scene and the ending scene. So it's just filmed at the parking lot after a heavy rain. It's all pollens. And the second part, I'm going to talk about the leadership in complex systems. Who wants to be the leader? As a writer, you can be the leader of your script, your story. And as a director, you are the leader of your crew, your team. And usually we think about the director or the producer the power structure is like this. So the director or the producer is on the top and the crew, the production team, the actors, and all the collaborators is on the under. So in that way, it's very obvious to become the leader and the follower at the bottom. But should that be in a new era? Who want to be the leader? Now I'm teaching in United States to the second grade students. Once they had fighting about who should be the leader. So I asked them, who want to be the leader? All of them raised their hands. And I said, who want to be the follower? No one raised their hands. Because in the United States, the leadership is a very common sense in the education area. As children are encouraged to become the leaders. However, if everyone, and then I asked them, what do you think a leader should do? And all the kids said, they tell people what to do. So if people all want to tell people what to do, how can they collaborate? And everyone, how can they collaborate and form a creative community? So in this way, fill the space, Still, when you fill the space and freeze and melt, so in that way you can talk about, you can have the idea to let everyone share their opinions and brainstorm at the same time, but still keep this connection. So in that way, you can have more inspiration and everyone is contributing to a collective as a collaborator. So try to use the filter space is not only the leader and the follower, but it can provide a space to let everyone become the collaborator. In that way, you will get more ideas than you expect. The third, awareness in action. Between the dining table. So we're always trying to erase the awareness of the problem, of the importance of something, of the society. And in the film, as a director and writer, we always think, what should be the idea about the story and how can I achieve that? So you are always sitting there and brainstorming what's the best solution. But try to get the solution and get the inspiration through your acting, through your action with your teams, okay? So in that way, what if there is a problem? Fill the space and freeze and melt. And then doing this, freeze to talk about what you think is the problem and what awareness you want to erase, and then melt together and keep talking. So in that way, you're providing an activity to have fun. Why I say between the dining table? When I was in Breadloaf at Middlebury College this summer, I gave a formal workshop to the educators there. But besides that, informally, I give several workshops during the dining hall, because I always am fascinated for the topic about artificial intelligence and complexity, and what if people is non-labor force anymore. I always fascinated to think about the future. So when people, and I think filter space can become a tool for the exploration of the future. So in that way, people are so curious about what to do about filter space when we're dining, talking. So I say, why don't we try? And then everyone stand up, start to fill the space and freeze and melt. And everyone keep laughing because you laugh from the first moment when you do the fill the space and freeze and melt. So everyone keep laughing and they just melt on the floor and keep talking about the future, because they keep talking about the future and they don't want to get up and just keep laughing everyone. But beware, we are between the dining table. There are other table, people are still dining, they are eating. So they watch what happened in that table, why they all lie on the floor and keep laughing and talking about the future. So I just want to talk about when you want to raise awareness, it's not necessary we are sitting, find a formal time, sitting in a meeting, by the meeting table, and we talk seriously. You can start a very serious talk to make people to raise the awareness, talk anything, even during the dining, even in the dining hall, and people just keep laughing and forget about everything, but just the fun and joy to talk about the serious problem, but still they keep laughing. So try it out to raise awareness, to solve the problem in action, because in action, people is open-minded and with joy and just keep laughing, but it's always, after that, people say, there are a lot of ideas coming to my mind. I know what to do. So that's the point. So when you're working with your team, especially when you're not a famous director, you're not a famous writer, you're working with amateurs. Your actor is usually your friend, your colleague, your classmate, your teacher. So they are not professional actors. They are not just give you the experience of profession. It's your responsibility to help them and collaborate them towards your goal. So raise the awareness in action. It helps you to work with different kinds of people who are not professional in your area. Both United in Growth, a Chinese folk song. So I want to talk about United in Growth. So when we think about united, we think people together towards a goal to make it happen. But if without growth in our mind, the growth in our perspective of the world of the future. We are united to stay at the same location, same spot. But we are united in growth. We are growing together towards the goal and towards the future. I want to talk about how I started this field space method. It started in 2012. When I get the award as the best new director in the Beijing International Theater Festival, I was invited to a French theater festival, Avignon Festival, and also invited to Tokyo. So when I finished my acting, my tour in France, we are preparing to bring the play to go to Tokyo. But at that time, China and Japan had a very severe conflict. So the Chinese people are so scared to go to Japan, and the Japanese government called the Japanese go back to Japan. So the two countries is very difficult to get the visa or make the trip because they are, for the safety concern, people are so afraid of two countries. So in that way, I tried to can all my actors quick because for the safety concern, they think it's dangerous to go to Japan at that time. So I tried to cancel my trip to Tokyo. I wrote an email to the Tiny Alice Festival director. I said, well, maybe we can postpone this trip. But she wrote back to me, she said, first, if you don't come to Japan at this time, I won't get the funding for next year's theater festival. Second, as artists, we shouldn't lose to the current of the history. So I was touched by her words. I think I need to meet my commitment. So in that way, I have to find actor from Beijing who has the courage to come to Japan at that moment. And also I find the Chinese people who already work in Japan at that moment have the courage to go on the stage. And I only have 2 weeks to train them to become professional actors on the stage. And some only have 2 days. So how can I train amateurs to become a professional actor to stand on that stage at that moment? That was a very important festival in Japan, the Tiny Alice Theater Festival. So what can I do is think the thing to think about is what is the most important difference between professional actor and amateurs? What do you think? How can you tell an actor who is professional or non-professional? My perspective is the way they walk on the street, walk on the stage. So before you start to talk, before you start to act, when you walk from the backstage to be seen by audience, the way you walk already tells you are professional or not. So the first thing I try to train the actor, my friends, is the way they walk. That's how I discover the method of fill the space. Start from walking and freeze and melt. So how about the Chinese folk song? When we arrived in Japan, everything is turned out well to fill the space, really work to train amateurs into professional actor on the stage. We complete the mission, but still we feel not safe when we go out on the street or go to the restaurant. Once when we go to the restaurant, we talk quietly and then just eat. But suddenly I hear a Chinese folk song the melody was playing. So that's warm our heart. That means the Japanese restaurant owner just want to show their kindness and welcome to the Chinese guests at this period, at this moment, when the two countries is having serious conflicts. So that's why I say united in growth. We are artists, and art is the bridge. Film is art, and as the bridge, we should unite in growth. It's not only about the history, the conflict at the present, but we should think about the future. All the humans are the planetary citizens. We can always grow our perspective about united, and we should contribute together to our planet. And the fifth, Diversity in the process. I will tell you a story about shall I explain. So in American, there is a word we talk a lot is diversity. However, I think about diversity is about the catalog. For example, is there different races, different people, different community in the school in this area? Or for example, how many disciplines, how many subjects is offering, provide in one school? So it's about different things being together. We think about diversity. However, I think diversity is not only about whether how many things we have to put together, but also in the process. That means when we have a mission, when we have a goal, when we have a film want to make, the process should have diversity in the process. For example, when I make the little prince with the mask, it's original a hands-on project I designed for my middle school students, which combines literature, theater, film, and media art. I plan to, it's a documentary I filmed about this project. However, the first addition I showed to my colleagues, my friends, they don't understand because I didn't explain anything. They say you should add a voiceover to tell it's a project, it's for the student, what's the process, explain everything. I struggle a little bit. Shall I explain everything? If I explain everything, you will understand, but it will be the contrary to the essence of the film because content of the original book. Because in the book it says, one sees clearly in the heart. Anything essential is invisible to the eyes. So I really want the audience to see through the heart, not through the voiceover about all the detail, about explanation. It's not about the eye, it's about the heart. So I remain it as ambiguous, as an uncertain, complicated to understand, but it's what it is you see right now. I'm so glad that it's included in 12 International Film Festival and won 2 jury awards, one in UK, one in India, and also one Best Short Documentary in France. So you see, even I didn't explain everything, people can see through their heart. So give it a try when you think it could be different, because it really can be different about the way you explain, about the process, about the way you tell the story. For example, when you think about Romeo and Juliet, you think 1 Romeo and 1 Juliet. How about 5 Romeo and 1 Juliet? Or how about 1 Juliet and 1 Romeo and 5 Juliets? So why not? How about 100 Juliets and no Romeo? The Romeo is 0 or a shadow. So think about it, even the oldest story, you can always different diversity in the process. Don't be scared, don't be afraid to don't explain everything because people have the heart. You can connect to the people by heart. 6, democracy in collaboration, majority and minority. Okay, when we think about director or the producer or investor are in the power structure like this, and others are the followers. Well, I think it always can be an open system, So the democracy is not only about the decision is making by the majority or the power structure, but also the needs, the right of the majority, minority should be respected. So in the theater space, it provides a new power structure, at least in this process. Theater space and freeze and melt. So in that way, people are partnering with each other one by one, and you can switch partner. So in that way, every time you're talking to one person. So in that way, and another time you talk with another person. So you're always one-to-one to communicate, but always exchange and always share your perspective, your idea, your concern, your need. So as a leader, as a director or producer, if you use this model in your team, in that way you can get to take care of not only the majority, but also the minority needs of everyone in your team. So the seventh, human as non-labor force, the future. Well, I always fascinated about what if in 20 years, humans are no longer the labor force? Because our job will be taken by the artificial intelligence. So the education we're teaching our kids right now, oh, you're going to be an energy engineering, you're going to be a consultant, you are going to blah, blah. All this job is going to be taken by the artificial intelligence. So what job can you imagine will left to a human being? For example, maybe the machine can be the director, the machine is going to be the writer, the robot is going to be the actor, and what job can left to human? Can you imagine human in the future as non-labor force? Can you tell a story about that? Can you think about a science fiction movie? Can you think about the future with optimistic? And how can you contribute to the future as a future director and a future scriptwriter to give hope to the human future, to empower people to have a meaningful life, happiness, joyful, and a better society for our planet? So all the time, think about, there are 3 films in the world. First, the film about your life, you as a living individual. Second, the film of your profession, you as a professional. Third, the film of our planet, as you as a planetary citizen. So think about to become the director of these 3 films, and think about to become the writer of these 3 films as individual, as professional, and as a planetary citizen. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening and your time.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. It was indeed a very wonderful, not a session, but a workshop. Am I audible? Am I audible, ma'am?
Yeah,
Yes.
So, yeah, thank you so much. So I request students to kindly raise your hands if any questions. Okay, I have one question. Ma'am, this question is, which is your favorite film, your life or your professional life?
Film, the movie, you mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think the question is like, what kind of filmmaking? Like, you want to make a film on your life, or you are actually looking for to make a film regarding the professional life? What I can understand from this question.
So I think the last thing which Yili explained, the 3 films like this individual, profession, and planet,
And
and then creating a balance of all the 3, isn't it? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this film is my all-time favorite. 8.5 by the famous Italian director Fellini. So all the time.
And what is your biggest inspiration?
Again. Again, what's the question again?
Yeah, what is your biggest inspiration behind the making of the films?
Oh, okay. I think it's towards the future. It was the better future for all human beings on the planet. So I'm always think about every individual have the connection as to the whole world, to the global world, and we are all living on the same planet. So I think every little movement, every little thing we talk, we record, we share, it contribute to the whole planet.
Definitely. I think filling the space regarding the planet is very important, because we are actually
giving some inspiration to the future generations as well, that how they are using this planet for their future generation. I must say this lecture, maybe not a lecture but a workshop, definitely was a very benefited and a very inspirational workshop indeed, because many students, they must have benefited regarding the filmmaking perspective, regarding the aspects of various filmmaking aspects and tools and techniques which they can be used in their future as well. And one thing which you have mentioned, that the personal life, filmmaking about the personal life, this is one of the most crucial aspect for anyone, because we are actually digging the deep thoughts within ourselves, that how we are actually creating one subject or maybe one character in our own lives. So ma'am,
Yes.
it was indeed a very wonderful session, and I must congratulate to you on the success of your film.
Thank
So
you.
now I request Professor Dr. Susmita Bala, head of the DME Media School, to kindly address the gathering and also give her concluding remarks of the session.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Manmeet. Thank Elifan for having such an interesting and captivating session. It was so interesting, so engrossing that I cannot simply put in the words. You presented a vivid account about filling the space, like fill the space model, as explained by you, made it so simple and creative. The key points shared by you related to acting were innovative. Examples shared by you were easy to connect and simple to understand. And yeah, you're right, absolutely right, that everyone is director, actor, and writer in their lives. So it's a very impressive, the model of filling the space, and the ingredients of this model: creativity, collective approach, and teamwork, compatibility, sharing, community building are so vital in our lives. Yili, I am really impressed by your thoughts and delivery as a communicator who was so good in transmitting what you wanted to. This is something which all need to learn. So thank you, and thank you for this session. And really, I enjoyed this session.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Definitely, Miss Yili, we are looking forward for more workshops and sessions from your side. Thank you so much for joining us today. Now I request Ms. Divishri, final year student, to kindly extend the vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. I extend my heartfelt thanks to the guest speaker today, Ms. Yili Fan. It was really a very insightful session. And I extend my sincere thanks to Vice Chairman, Director General, Director, and Dean Professor Saxena, and Head Dr. Bala at Delhi Metropolitan Education, our faculty who have supported us in all possible ways to motivate and encourage us to take initiatives and eventually becomes the part of our academic conduct. I would also thank our support team for making this session seamless in all possible ways. And last but not the least, I thank all my friends who joined today. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Education in DME is an enriching experience. And in the post-COVID period, we have moved to hybrid education, which is a combination of online and offline education. We are back to normal, we are having the physical classes, but we are not ready to sacrifice the gains of online education.
Education is a service industry, and we have to develop models and work upon them. At Delhi Metropolitan Education, we have a three-pronged model wherein we work upon the knowledge enhancement of the students, we work on the skill enhancement, and we also streamline the corporate ready attitude.
We at DME Law School ensure that our students get the best exposure. We ensure that we are able to provide in-house coaching to all those who are the aspirants for judiciary or aspiring to become a civil servant.
The idea of accessing anytime, anywhere resources of the library, academics, session plan, uploading of assignments, rubric-based grading and assessment has made the entire environment highly digital and accessible to everyone.
COVID-19 pandemic is over, but it has left a deep impact on us. Many of our students have not yet recovered. DME is committed to support all such students. Compassion is key for us. We believe in hand-holding,
and most importantly, it is the students who are benefiting highly. They are getting hyper-personalized digital experience because of the whole digital campus and DME.
In media particularly, training is very important. So, we have intensified this training. We want holistic growth of our students.
The whole idea and the aim of the mentoring cell is to help the students thrive and not just to survive.
DME believes in collaborations. We have collaborations with foreign universities like Deakin University, Australia, Indian University like Makhanlal Chaturvedi National University of Journalism and Communication, Bhopal. Also, the government departments and ministries like Ministry of Health, Department of Science and Technology, and international organizations like UNESCO and IAMCR.
Research Cell at DME continuously endeavors to foster an environment of critical thinking and interdisciplinary research both amongst the faculty members and students. It has 9 research centers, 6 in law, 2 in management and 1 in media.
If art is to nourish the roots of our culture, then the society must set the artist free to follow his vision wherever it takes him. At DME, we aim to do the same. The DME Cultural Cell is built on the motto to inculcate moral and aesthetic values with the amalgamation of talent and indigenous culture in our students.
Internal Quality Assurance Cell of DME is constantly involved in improving quality standards at all levels, starting with physical infrastructure, academic resources, hiring best of the faculty, inviting experts from the industry. DME IQAC has adopted robust system of quality checks for the holistic development of students and faculty members.
Community Connect Society is pursuing the mission for helping people and to create opportunities for students, faculty and staff to connect with community and work for the welfare of the society. National Service Scheme in our college is conducted by Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports to deliver community experience to our young students.
DME works with conviction. We want hand-holding, be it the students, their parents, the industry representatives. We want to take everybody along. We want to produce fertile minds, the original minds who can take this country forward.